Hey there, it's Kathy with Be Creative with Kathy, and I have a really pretty card for you today. First of all, I should tell you I was supposed to be here Friday. I apologize if anybody was waiting for me. I kind of find it hard to believe that anybody's waiting for me, but with all the family that was here and Thanksgiving and stuff, I'm sorry I didn't get my Friday video done, but I will have another Christmas video next Friday, which will be December 3rd. Can you believe that? I can't. But anyway, so today's video, in fact, I named it Eden's Garden Team Swap. And I just wanted to explain that to you. So a team, when you join Stampin' Up! Or you become a demonstrator, whether you want to start a business, I kind of run mine like a business. I support my habit, make a little bit of money, and I love teaching and just being with other people. And that's kind of my social aspect is my job, which I absolutely love. And then right now, to become a part of Stampin' Up! Or a team, you could join my team. My team's called Creative Friends. They have a discount on the starter kit. So the starter kit is $125 worth of products. You get all the business supplies and a paper pumpkin right now for $75. And that $125 worth of product could come out of any current catalog. And then, did I mention free shipping? So all you pay is $75 plus tax. And I would love to have you as part of our team. And we have a swap every month. We also have team meetings where we discuss what's going on with Stampin' Up, some sales techniques and business stuff. And then we also do some mystery stamping. So I think being part of my team is pretty fun. I try to make it that way. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll answer all I can, but we have to hurry because that promotion ends tomorrow. The last day of November is tomorrow, and that's when that promotion is up. So then the Eden Garden part is this suite. This is an early release from the upcoming catalog that comes out January 2022, believe it or not. And I'm going to use, I think, all the products in this suite. So there's the stamp set and the dies, and then the designer series paper and the cotton paper, and the cotton paper I think is just like a fancy or maybe a little bit thicker tissue paper. It's really soft and pretty, but that's the cotton paper. The designer series paper is all those greens that are in colors right now. So it's the soft succulent, the evening evergreen, and then it has that touch of gold. Can you see how pretty that paper is? And then the gems, or the bling as I like to call it, is really pretty. It has that iridescent to it. I don't know if you can see it, but we're going to use those on our card too. And so you know, the Eden's Garden bundle, which is the stamp set and the dies, will be in the January catalog. However, the designer series paper, the cotton paper, and the gems are only while supplies last, so they won't be in the catalog in January. All right, done talking. Let's make a card. So like I said, I'm making this for my swap. So I'm making a bunch of them, and I have all my little pieces and parts cut. Let me show you what I have cut, okay? And I used, well, we'll check out the dies. So I have some of the designer series paper. I chose this pattern here. And if you want the dimensions, you'll have to give me a few minutes after the video and go to my blog, Be Creative with Kathy. The description will be in the link, and all the measurements are there in case I tell you wrong or if I forget to mention some measurements. But then I have some basic white cardstock that's going to go on the inside. And then I took a piece of that evening evergreen, and I took this die right here, this what I call an edgelet die, and I just cut off a bunch of those edges, and look how pretty that is. Now I'll be honest with you, I'm not perfect. Don't tell everybody, it's a secret, I guess. And I hope that I got it straight on there, but if I didn't, I think it's going to be okay. I've done a couple practice ones, and I'm not going to worry too much as to whether they're cut perfect or not, because I'm not perfect, I'm human. But let's hang on to one of those. So I'm going to grab one of those, and one of these, and one of these. Okay, and then another thing I have here is I have a card base, which is just 8.5 by 5.5 that I've scored at 4 1/4. So we'll need one of those. A few other pieces of paper I have here. I've taken this die right here, and I've cut a piece of that really pretty gold foil that's in the mini catalog right now, and cut out a piece that looks like this. I've used my heart punches, both the regular and the scallop. I don't know if you can see them, but they're in the annual catalog. They have been for a while. Love those. and I cut out an evening evergreen scalloped and just a basic white regular heart. Then I took that cotton paper and I doubled it up. So I layered it about an inch. I think this is about an inch wide, but I layered it 2 pieces on top, and then I cut out with this little leaf spriggy thingy here, and I cut out a piece of that. And now the hard part now is going to be getting those 2 apart. But let's see if I use my take a pick tool, if I can get, I have no nails right now either. Softball has ended and I haven't quite got my nails back to they look awful. It takes me a while after softball season. And I don't play softball, for those of you who are wondering, but I coach softball. It does the same thing to your hands. It just messes them up. But there we go. So I have this really thin, pretty cotton paper with those 2 little sprigs there. Okay. And then I think last, and we'll see if I need more later, or more pieces, it's on my table here, but then I have a 1/4 of an inch strip of that really pretty gold paper that's in the mini catalog right now. We'll need that too. Okay, so let's start with stamping. I'm going to take both of those little basic white pieces, and I'm going to use Evening Evergreen ink here. And I have that Sending Hugs and a little sprig mounted on blocks. They're from the stamp set. They look like that. I'm going to grab a piece of scratch paper, because on my heart I'm going to stamp off the edge. But first we'll stamp on here. I'm going to just take that pretty little sprig and I'm going to just stamp it in the corner for the inside of my card. And look how soft and pretty. Is that not beautiful? Now this is not my normal. I'm usually a harsh, maybe not harsh, but I'm usually not soft and pretty. But I absolutely love this after I played with it for a while. And then with that Sending Hugs, I'm going to turn it kind of at an angle on my heart here, and just let that ink sink in. Look how pretty that fine line script is. And then with that same sprig that I use for the inside, I'm going to just decorate that up a little bit. And I'm going to put a little bit here. Yeah, look how pretty that is. And then maybe just a little sprig up here. And now look how pretty my heart is. And believe it or not, that's all the stamping that we're going to do. Okay, so now let's go ahead and put our card together. And I have just a couple, well, maybe just 1 or 2 tips and ideas of how to do that. So we're going to start with that card base. And I'm going to go ahead and put the inside of my card on the inside, or that basic white on the inside of my card. A little bit of tape runner. Whoop. There we go. Little bit of tape runner. If you have trouble too with your tape runner, when you, I got my table here, when you run your tape, you hold it here and then flick it back this way, like hold onto the paper, and that tears the tape so you don't have problems. And I've discovered a light touch is way better than pushing hard. If you push hard on the paper, that's when it seems to tear. So I think our new tape runners need a light touch, and that might be helpful when you're trying to use them, because we have to get used to them, because boy, the snail is so much different than the Stampin' Seal. Okay, so now let's bring in those other pieces we have cut here. We're going to start with this one here, and we need to layer this right on top of there. So I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer. It's just going to help me line it up a little bit, and I hope I can get it in here all the way. Maybe if I go this way you can see it in the video. Clean up a little bit, but I'm going to set my paper here. So now I know it has a, it's like, well, it's flush against here, so it's going to be straight. That's what I'm trying to do. And then with just a little bit of adhesive on my Designer Series paper here. And then I'm going to take that and let me make sure, yeah, I think that's, I don't know if it matters if it goes this way, but for some reason I like it that way. And I'm going to make sure, I'm just looking at the top. I want to get a nice border, about a 1/4 of an inch border here. And I can't do it this way, I usually do it the other way, but I'm going to lay this right there and see how now I know that my Designer Series paper is on there perfect, because I have that straight edge to lay it against. It's just a helpful tip. Okay, and then I'm going to take some liquid glue here, and I'm going to just run some liquid glue along the bottom edge of that Designer Series paper, just a really thin strip of liquid glue right there. Put the lid on there, and then take that strip. Now this is 12 inches, so I know it's way too long, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to trim it to size, and this way I don't have any waste. But I'm going to take my little strip of gold here and just lay it right there on that row of tape or glue that I put down, and lay it just like that. So now I know it's straight, but it looks a little, I'm going to just kind of angle it a little bit to watch with that line there, that stitched line at the bottom. Can you see it there? And it's not sticking at all. I might have to put some more glue on there. Nope, I just have to let it sit for a minute. But there, now my card looks all straight. So I don't have any idea if that stitched line is straight here from when I cut it with the dies, but it looks pretty good with my gold. And so then I'm going to just trim that off right there. And I think using the straight edge of your paper trimmer, or your Simply Scored, or your Stamparatus, just anything that has that lip where you can put your paper there to line it all up, I think that's a helpful hint. Look how pretty that is so far, with that little touch of gold in the paper and the little strip of gold. And trust me, when you do little strips of gold like that to add an accent, your 12 by 12 paper goes a long way. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and add this to the front of my card. And I couldn't find the front of my card, but I see it now. So whoop, flick it, Kathy. Soft touch. There we go. And then I'm going to put this, make sure my card's the right way, just right here on the front. I should have used my trimmer to line that up again, huh? But I think I did okay. Yeah, look how pretty. Now here's another tip that I want to show you that I've learned recently. So on this strip here, we're going to put this strip here, but I want it up on dimensionals. So I'm going to take and put 4 dimensionals on my little strip of paper here. 2 at the end. So he's nice and solid on my card. And then I'm going to put 2 in the center. And then I'm only going to take the dimensional backs out of those 2, or I should say off of those 2 in the center. And then I'm going to set it here on my card. So it looks pretty good right there. Now these 2 I can lift up and take those little cotton pieces here that I have, and I'm going to just lift this up, take the backing off now, hold that up and slip this under, and then that dimensional will hold my little cotton piece in place. And because I could lift that up, I could slip it under there where I want it. But now I think I've set my little cotton piece down. And I can't find the other one, so let me grab, I'll have to find him for later. Maybe he went on the floor, I don't know. But let me separate these 2 and use one from this set. There we go. But I'm going to do the same thing down here on this side. Remove that, lift that up real gently. I don't want to bend my foil paper, but I'm going to take him and just set him under there, and then set that down and let that dimensional hold my little paper underneath. And now I have them where I want them. I think it looks really good. Okay, let's take our heart now with some more of that adhesive, and I'm just going to go along the center here. Oh no, this one I can go all over, because we're going to add this to this scalloped one here. Like that. I think I got him pretty straight. And then here I'm only going to add to the center, because then I'm going to lay this right here on that gold piece that we cut out. And look how pretty. Is that not just a beautiful card? It has that little touch of gold. I think anybody who needed a hug would love to get that in the mail. I know I would. But let's bling it up a little bit with some of those gems from the suite. I'm going to use my take a pick tool. I'm going to take 2 of these larger ones, and I'm going to set it right there, and this one over here. And then I'm going to take these little ones and just kind of spatter 3 of them. Whoop. Here and there. And what do you think? Can you see those pretty gems on there? Look how they have that iridescent kind of look to them. And that little touch of gold, I think it makes it just a really pretty wow card. Alrighty, so that's my card today. Like I said, if you need the dimensions, you head on over to my blog, Be Creative with Kathy, and they'll all be on my blog there. If you want any of the supplies, be sure and visit my online store. I would love to be your demonstrator. And then lastly, if you want to become part of the team or even join Stampin' Up's family, be sure and do that before the end of the month so you get that $75 kit. Thanks for watching, and like I promised, I'll see you back here on Friday with a little bit of Christmas stuff. Talk to you then. Bye-bye.